You're watching Pulse for the 7th or 8th of March, and it's once again time for some Diablo news. In this week's episode, we take a look at yet more release date drama, the fact that Diablo 3 is now live for World of Warcraft annual pass holders. No, that doesn't mean they can play it, but it is now visible in their Battle.net account management. Possible double monster damage at lower levels, extra classes in Diablo 3, and more. Let's get straight to the news. We're going to start this episode off by talking a little bit about the release date news of the past week. As you've no doubt realized, we don't have a proper set-in-stone release date for Diablo 3 yet. A lot of people, myself included, were hoping that we'd get something this week, with GDC and CeBIT happening, but sadly Jay Wilson shot those hopes down. The GDC hopes at least. He mentioned that he was off to GDC and that he's not going to be announcing anything there. No, still not a sign of release. So although there were a bunch of promising signs, rumors and hints pointing towards a release date announcement this week, it hasn't happened yet. And just adding on to this, making it even more sad for all of us, Amazon Italy has removed their April 17th date for Diablo 3 that they had posted. It now simply says 2012 and we're in the dark once again. Not that seeing a retailer post a release date is anything new, but it does get the hopes up, doesn't it? The only thing we know for sure now is that we can expect the game in the second quarter. The second quarter runs all the way till June the 30th, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong there, but I think that's it. Along with that, Blizzard did tell us that they would give us some leeway. They'd give us at least a month or two's warning before the game actually releases, so they are definitely running out of time now. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the release date news. I don't have anything concrete here, but you can read all about everything that I spoke about now in the description below this video. There's one really interesting post over at BlizzPlanet titled, "Why the Diablo 3 release date will be announced March 12. That's definitely something you want to check out if you want to read absolutely everything there is about release dates. With that done though, let's move along to something slightly happier. Now we're going to have a talk about Diablo 3 being active for World of Warcraft annual pass holders. After an incredibly long maintenance on the Battle.net website, World of Warcraft annual pass holders were greeted with something pretty special. Diablo 3 on their game dashboard. I feel I must mention that this once again doesn't mean that they can play the game yet. This just means that it's active on their account, it's there, ready and waiting for when the game actually launches. Now while this doesn't really mean very much, a lot of people are calling it yet another sign of release. I know, it's getting old. So sadly you can't even download the client or anything like that. All you can do is stare at Diablo 3 on your account management page and yearn for it to be playable. So if you do have a World of Warcraft annual pass, then congratulations, you now own Diablo 3. You can read more about this below. Our next piece of news is all about a tweet that Jay Wilson sent out saying that doubled monster damage from levels 1 to 13, trailing off to level 20, feels pretty good. And it seems like Blizzard are trying to keep that in the game. That is quite a big change, and I'm actually keen to see how it will play when it goes live. Now you have to keep in mind that this is only monster damage. Their health won't be doubled. That means that we won't take longer to kill them than we do now. They'll just be killing us faster. Jay Wilson also let us know that this is going to be going live in the next beta patch, so we'll actually get to play around with it before the game comes out. That's nice to hear, but he did tell us that he has no idea when the patches actually come in. Let's hope it's sooner rather than later though. I have to honestly say, from my time in the beta, it hasn't been that difficult. There were very few times that I actually had to use a potion or worry about dying. If you just move around correctly and pick up the health globes on the floor, the chances are slim that your health will ever go below halfway. Now that is obviously dependent on what group of monsters you fight in, what kind of items or weapons your character has, and many other things. But still, I think this will really help at the start of the game, and hopefully it'll make you feel like you're actually in danger sometimes. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it actually plays when it goes live. Now, moving right along, with Diablo 3 about to release, people are apparently already looking at new possibilities for extra classes in the game in the future. That's a little bit crazy. Honestly, I think we should rather focus on what's being worked on right now, the 5 classes that we currently have. But I guess it is fun to think about what you could possibly add, or what would work, what would synergize with the 5 classes that are currently in the game. Bashiok had a bit to say about this. He said he's in no way aware of any future ideas or plans for extra classes, but he said that he personally would really like the idea of a demonic or angelic infected class. They said that that was actually something that they explored with the Demon Hunter, who at one point in time had a demonic arm. That was at BlizzCon 2010, and he thought that it would be something interesting to explore, especially on the angelic side. He said that he was really into the paladin / holy warrior type classes, and that infused with angelic powers and visuals would probably be pretty close to his perfect class. Sadly, whether it's Bashiok's perfect class or not, or whether it's even a good idea or not, we don't even have a release date for Diablo 3 yet, and we should probably not be worrying about extra classes or expansions right now. That said, and as I said before, I really do like the idea of speculating about different classes that could have been added to the game. I mean, I think they covered pretty much everything with what they have in the game right now. They've got a bit of every type of class in there. Now, one thing I personally realized about Diablo 3 was there wasn't actually a class that was specially designed to use shields, and I suppose use them to their full potential. I mean, you don't expect to see a barbarian running around shield in hand. Rather, you expect to see a barbarian dual-wielding axes or using a huge two-hander or something like that. And that's one thing I think that they could add to the game. A class that actually specialized in using a sword and a shield, or a mace in a shield, or something like that. Again though, you guys can let me know what you think about more classes in Diablo 3. Do you think it's too early to talk about it? And if not, what would your perfect class be? If Blizzard had to add a 6th or even 7th class, what would you like to see there? Let me know below. And with that done, let's move on to the Diablo 3 Smalls. First up in the Smalls, the Diablo 3 beta client is now available in French and German. You can read about what Blizzard's got going on at GDC this week. Check out the cover art for Diablo The Order by Nate Kenyon. Have a look at some Book of Cain sketches, and as far as I know, these are actually exclusives that didn't make it into the book. Watch or listen to the latest Diablo podcast, that's number 61. This one about the release date, drama, magic find, and monsters. And lastly, also right here on YouTube, have a look at Purgatory for March the 5th. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the news this week. Remember to check the description below this video for everything that I spoke about. Check back here soon for more, and most importantly, happy waiting for that release date announcement.